Hi everyone, Denise here from Resolute Studios. Today I'm going to be teaching you a complete core class, which is one of the classes in the studio that's really popular with my clients. It's a mixture of Pilates movements with added extra core exercises that gives you a full body workout from head to toe. As with any exercise program that you're about to partake in, please make sure that if you have any injuries or illnesses that you get medical clearance from your GP or your physio. And as well as that, just make sure if there's any movements in this exercise program that you find difficult to do, make sure you stop and move on to the next movement. Or if you can, if possible, try and attend a local Pilates class to try and get the technique down a little bit better. So let's go through the movements. Okay, so we're going to start today's class by bringing yourself down onto your mat, and we're going to start off with your warm-up and your neutral posture check. So starting off, making sure you're working from your feet to your head. You start off pressing into your feet, so your full foot is in contact with the mat, keeping your knees coming inwards so they're in line with your hips, and then we're creating that neutral pelvis. Just a tiny space underneath your lower back. Enough space for you to slide the hands under, but they don't meet together in the middle. Or making sure that the pubic bone and the hip bone is in the same line. You're gently activating the core muscle, so right behind the back of the belly button, draw the belly button gently in towards your spine without forcing it in, and you're holding that contraction then as you breathe. So with your Pilates breathing, you're breathing in through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. So you breathe in, and you exhale. We're going to do this a few times. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. We're trying to expand the rib cage, so we're breathing into the sides of the rib cage as you do this breathing. It's called lateral thoracic breathing. Relaxing the shoulders down, away from the ears, and then you're resting your head then on your mat in line with the spine. So we're going to continue on with that breathing for a few more breaths. Aiming to breathe in for about 5 seconds and breathe out for about 5 seconds. So it's long, deep breaths. If you need to use something underneath your head, just pop a small towel under there if you find that your neck is quite strained. Okay, so we're moving on to a gentle pelvic tilt, or what we call an imprint and release in Pilates. So it's working from your lumbar spine, the lower part of your back. You want to gently tilt the pelvis so the pubic bone goes up towards the direction of the ceiling, and then you inhale then to release back to that neutral position that we were working on. So we're going to do that a few times. Exhaling to imprint and inhaling to release. When you're doing this, you want to try not to squeeze the legs or force the back down into the ground. Relaxing the neck and relaxing the shoulders. Exhaling to imprint and inhaling to release. So we're going to do this one more time. Exhaling to imprint and inhaling to release. So we're going to take it into hip rolls next, beginning with the same imprint. We're going to tilt the pelvis, but this time we're going to engage the legs more. So you're going to squeeze the backs of the legs, squeeze the bum, the hamstrings and the glutes, and you're going to articulate the spine up to create a bridge shape. Put a straight line from your knees, hips to shoulders, and rolling back down. One vertebrae at a time. So we're using a lot more activation through the legs. So exhaling to lift, keeping the knees coming in line with the hips, and inhaling to lower down slowly. When you're doing this one, you're going to make sure that your two hips stay in line all the time. Your legs are contracting all the time, and trying to relax the neck and the shoulders. So we're going to do it 2 more times. Exhaling to lift, engaging the legs, inhaling to lower, and one more time. Exhaling to lift, and inhaling to lower. At the end of this movement, we want to return the spine back down into that neutral position that we worked on earlier on. And we're coming into a leg slide. We're going to stretch the leg away from you on the exhale breath. And inhale, slide the leg back into place. Exhaling to change legs. and inhaling to slide it back in. Keep alternating in your own time. Don't worry if you forget the breathing. Sometimes people really focus too much on the breath, which is really important, the breathing. But then you forget about your technique. So if it happens to be an inhale instead of an exhale, that's okay. It'll come in time with practice. So keep alternating. We want to try and keep it in line with the hips. And again, making sure that you keep the core active, gently drawing the belly button towards the direction of the spine while you're keeping that space, tiny space, neutral underneath the back. Let's do one more. Exhale and inhale. Keeping your neutral position, we're coming into alternating single leg tabletop. So we're going to exhale, bring that knee up above your hip, your foot in line with your knee, and inhale, placing the leg down slowly. Changing legs, exhaling to lift, and inhaling to lower down slowly. So you're going to continue that on your own time, making sure that you stop your knee above your hip and your foot in line with your knee. We don't want to put any pressure on the back, so keeping it nice and controlled. When you're bringing your foot down towards the ground, try and lead with your toes and then drop the heel down. Always keeping that tiny space, that neutral position on the spine, your shoulders relaxed, and keeping the head then resting on the mat as well. So continuing on, exhaling to lift and inhaling to lower. One more time, exhaling to lift and inhaling to lower. So we've done the imprint and release earlier on. We're going to move the spine into an imprinted position. So you don't want to force the back down, just a gentle tilt. You're going to roll the tailbone underneath you, the pubic bone going up towards the direction of the ceiling, but without engaging the legs too much. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, using the hands down by the sides. We're going to warm up tabletop, so it's a full tabletop position. You're going to take one leg up, followed by the second leg up, one foot down, followed by the second leg down. But this time you always keep your spine in contact with the mat in tabletop. Now you can alternate the leg that you lift on. So the last leg to come down is going to be your first leg to lift and lift and lower and lower. Now you're breathing. Exhale breath to get the two legs up into the air, and inhale breath to lower it down. Exhale. Inhale. And we're going to do two more times, keeping the spine in contact with the mat without forcing it down and keeping the shoulders relaxed. Now we're going to hold this one in a tabletop position, knees in line with your hips and your feet in line with your knees, with your shoulders and your head completely relaxed, spine in imprint, using your hands to your sides. We're going to mobilize the thoracic spine, which is the middle of the back. We want to use the oblique muscles around your sides, so spinal rotation. We're taking the two legs over to one side as you breathe in, and exhaling, taking the legs back to the center again. Opposite side, inhale, and exhaling, coming to the center. So what you want to really make sure on this one is that the shoulders don't start to lift off the ground. That means you're going too far over. So you shouldn't have to overuse your arms too much either. So it's all based around those obliques and mobilizing, as I said, the middle part of your spine. You want to make sure that your feet don't drop down or your knees pushing away from you. So keep the feet nice and high or in line with your knees. Inhaling to the side and exhaling to the center. One more time. Inhaling, keeping the head pointing directly up to the ceiling. Exhaling to the center, releasing one foot down, followed by your second leg down, and then finally releasing your back, which is coming back down into that neutral position on your spine. We're coming onto your shoulders next, so we're moving your way upwards. We're going to mobilize the shoulders, doing some shoulder circles. So reaching the two arms up towards the ceiling, keeping the legs in line with the hips, the abdominals contracting, the space underneath your spine, very tiny space. Arm circles. So we're going to inhale to circle the arms, and exhaling to finish. So when you're bringing your arms back behind you, you want to be aware of what your rib cage is doing. So you don't want to lift your chest too high up to the ceiling. You want to keep that down. So that means that the abdominals are getting the proper activation. So we're going to keep your head relaxed on the mat, making sure that you're not lifting your spine away from the mat. Continuing that circle, inhale and exhale. And then we're going to change direction. So the same in reverse. Inhale, exhaling to finish. Don't make your circles too wide. Just want to get enough mobility in those shoulder blades. Inhale, exhaling to finish. Inhale, exhaling to finish. And 2 more times. And circle. And 1 more time. And circle. And releasing the hands down slowly by your sides. So we're up at your shoulders now. We want to move on to your neck. So we're going to do a few chin tilts or head nods. You want to make sure your head stays in contact with the mat. And inhale, look down gently towards the direction of the legs. Exhaling, looking to the ceiling. You don't want to look back behind you. That's too far on the neck. Inhale, sliding the chin. It's a very gentle movement. Exhale, looking to the ceiling. Inhale, making sure that you're not pushing your chest. Exhale, looking up to the ceiling. Shoulders relaxed. Inhale. Exhaling to the ceiling. And we're going to do 2 more times. Inhale. Exhaling to the ceiling. And last one, inhale. And exhaling to the ceiling. So that's the end of the warm-up. We're going to move on to your movements now. Okay, so let's get started with your movements. We're going to start off with the basic ab prep position. And just before you start as well, just make sure that you keep a cushion beside you. You might want to use that underneath your lower back. But generally, if you are feeling back pain, don't do the movement. So we're going to start off with the ab prep. Your feet and your knees are in line with your hips, pressing down into the feet, keeping the legs in line. That neutral pelvis that we've done in the warm-up. Shoulders relaxed and head resting on the mat. So fingertips touching, centre of the head, resting the head in the hands. Elbows slightly forwards, drawing the chin into head nod. You're going to take a deep breath in. And exhaling to peel the shoulder blades away from the mat. Inhaling, coming down slowly. Want to keep it really slow and controlled. Exhaling to lift. And inhaling to lower. Looking up towards the direction of your knees. You want to do these in your own time. So even if I'm counting them differently and you're on a different time than me, that's fine. Just make sure that you're not going too fast. So you shouldn't feel any strain on the back of your neck. If you feel a strain on the back of your neck, it means that you're pulling on the back of the head. So try and let your head rest in your hands. If you feel strain on the front of your neck, make sure that you get that head nod position, like as if you're giving yourself a double chin. And looking towards the direction of your knees. Inhaling, coming down slowly. 2 more times. Exhaling to lift. And inhaling to lower. 1 more time. Exhaling to lift. And inhaling to lower down slowly. Relaxing the hands down by the sides. We're going to take the right leg into tabletop position on a single leg, keeping the neutral position. So we're going to do a single leg stretch modified. We're going to exhale, stretch the leg away from you, keeping the 2 knees in line, and inhale, bending the leg back in. Exhaling to stretch the leg, and inhaling to bend. So these movements are going to work on the front part of your thighs. You're going to start to really feel this on the legs, which is what we're concentrating on today, is a leg workout and all the abdominals and the back strengthening as well. So keeping the shoulders relaxed, exhaling to stretch and inhaling to bend. 2 more times, exhaling to stretch and inhaling to bend. 1 more time, exhaling to stretch and inhaling to bend. Holding that tabletop, we're going to combine that with the previous movement, the ab prep. So fingertips touching, center of the head. We're going to this time inhale, stretch the leg away, and exhaling to lift. Inhale, stretch the leg away, and exhaling to lift, making sure that you don't bring the knees in too close and pull on the elbows. Exhale and inhale. So after a while you're going to start feeling this building up on the front part of that leg. It's going to get heavier and heavier, and we're not finished yet. Exhale to lift and inhaling to lower. 2 more times. Exhale and inhale to lower. 1 more time. Exhale and inhaling to lower. Releasing the hands and bending the leg into tabletop. We're going to go single leg scissors. Exhale to tap and inhale to lift tabletop. So we really want to control the movement, coming through the hip, not by bending your knee and stretching the leg. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower, just gently tapping the floor, and you should be starting to feel that building up on the front part of that leg. It gets quite heavy. So remember, you can take a break if you want to. Exhaling to tap and inhaling to lift. 2 more times. You're going to combine the ab prep in next with the scissors, and 1 more time. And holding this one raised. Using the ab prep, we need to change the breath around. So we're going to inhale, tap down, and exhaling to lift. Inhaling to tap down, and exhaling to lift. Inhale. Just watch that technique on the neck. Exhale, keeping that tiny space underneath your spine. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. So that leg should be feeling a lot heavier now. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. And releasing the head down. So every time I do the core class, everyone thinks we're nearly finished, but we're not yet. So we're going to stretch that leg up to the ceiling. And we're going to really feel the leg working hard on this one. You're going to flex the toes as you lower the leg down, not touching the ground completely, and pointing the toe as the leg comes up. Feel the burn on that leg. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. Inhale. And exhale. You might get a few shakes in there as well. We're trying to keep the leg as straight as you can. So don't pull back too far if you have to lift your hips off the ground. So pushing through the heel, reaching the toes up to the ceiling, keeping the shoulder blades relaxed, belly button in towards the back. And we're going to hold this one into the ab prep, fingertips touching, center of the head. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. We're really feeling that now. 2 more times. Exhaling to lift. And 1 more time. And lift. Bending the leg and releasing down slowly. So what we're going to do just to open out that hip is we're going to do a few shoulder bridge preps. It's also working on the reverse muscle group, which is on the back of the legs, the hamstrings and the glutes. So make sure your feet are close to the back of your legs. Feet and knees in line with the hips. I'm going to contract the legs as you pick the hips up to the ceiling on the exhale breath. We want to really get the stretch on that leg. Inhale, dropping the hips down. Exhale to lift, keeping the 2 hips in line. Draw the belly button in. Inhaling to lower. Exhale, make sure the feet are pressed down into the ground. Inhaling to lower. So really squeeze the legs, open out the hips. Inhale, coming down. Shoulders relaxed, so you don't want to push down too hard into the ground with the hands. And remember, you can do these at your own pace. You don't have to keep in time with me, but just keep listening to the cues of your technique. Inhale, coming down. Let's do 2 more before we change legs. Exhale. And inhaling to lower. 1 more time. Exhale. And inhaling to lower. And from here, we're just going to do a quick stretch by bringing the 2 knees in towards the chest. Hold them in there. Make sure you're not bouncing it. So just gently hold. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Taking a few long, deep breaths. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. And then we're going to release the legs down slowly. Every time you change position, make sure you come back to the original neutral position again. So feet and knees in line with the hips. Neutral pelvis. Contracting gently on the abdominals, shoulders and head relaxed. Okay, so we're going to change legs. We're on the opposite side now. We're going to take the leg into that single leg tabletop position. And we're going to start off with a single leg stretch. So you're going to exhale, reach the leg away from you, lining up the 2 knees as you see there. So you don't want to go too low, keeping that position on the back. Draw the knees back in. Exhale to stretch. And inhale to bend. So they're really gentle movements. They're very basic movements, but they're very effective movements that you're really going to feel. But you need to contract, you need to squeeze the muscles rather than just bending and stretching the legs. So we're going to do 1 more time, and then we're going to add in that ab prep, same technique as before, and changing the breathing around. So we're going to inhale to stretch, and exhale to lift. Inhaling to stretch and exhaling to lift. Remember, you don't want to bring your knee in too close, and try not to pull on the elbows and your neck, so keep them open. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. Inhaling to stretch. Exhaling to lift. Inhaling to stretch. And 1 more time, exhale, inhaling to stretch, and releasing the arms, coming into the tabletop and into the scissors. Exhale, tapping down. So this is modified scissors. It's just the basic, the easier way of doing it. We might try the harder one in another class, but not today. Exhale to tap, and inhale to lift. So like what we were doing in the warm-up, you just gently tap your toe down, keeping the heel off the ground, shoulders relaxed, and remember to squeeze the leg really nice and tight so you're keeping it active. Making sure that you're not bending and stretching the leg. That's not going to do anything except on your knees. So we're moving through the hip. 1 more time. The next time we get to tabletop, we're going to go with the hands behind the head and change the breathing around. So we're going to inhale, tap down. Exhaling to lift. Inhaling to tap down. And exhaling to lift. Inhale. Exhale. You can start to feel that on that leg. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhaling to lift. And releasing the head and the shoulders down. We're going to stretch that leg up to the ceiling. And we're going to flex the toes, pushing through the heel as you come down. And exhale to lift. Inhale, coming down. Remember, controlling that position on the back, drawing the abdominals in gently, shoulders relaxed. Exhale, stretching the leg. Inhaling to lift. Exhale. Inhaling to lift. 1 more time, we're going to get that ab prep coming in next. But remember, you don't have to. You can just keep going with the legs. So taking the hands behind the head again. Inhale, coming down, and exhaling to lift. Inhale, coming down. Exhaling to lift. So it's going to get really hard to lift that leg as it gets heavier. Exhale to lift. Inhale. Exhale to lift. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhaling to lift. And last one. And lift. And releasing down. Slowly, so you should really feel that in the front of those thighs, but it's also working the abdominals and back strengthening as well. So let's come into another round of shoulder bridge prep just to open out the hips again. Feet in towards the backs of the legs, in line with the hips, both hips in line as you squeeze and clench, picking the hips up on the exhale. And inhale, coming down slowly. Exhaling to lift. And inhaling to lower. Squeezing, picking up the hips. But what we're also trying to do is to squeeze on the way down. It's not just on the way up, it's on the way up and down that you're squeezing the legs. Exhale. And inhale, coming down slowly. Let's do 2 more times. Exhale to lift. Inhaling to lower. And last one, exhaling to lift. And inhaling, coming down slowly. And taking those legs into that little stretch again on the lower back and the backs of the legs, the hamstrings and the glutes. So it's a really good one for the back as well as the legs. And it's going to help really start to stabilise the pelvis if you have any back issues, so the pelvis is slightly offline. Okay, so when we're doing our classes in the core class, we try and balance out the front of the back. So we've done the front of the legs, the backs of the legs, and the abdominals, but we also need to work the back. So we're going to go facing down into the mat, which is called prone position. So we're going to spin yourselves around slowly until you're facing down. And we're going to start off with some back extensions, which are also known as breaststroke preps. We're going to do 3 of these, and if any of them get too hard, stick to the one that you find easiest. So we're going to start off with the first one, which is the elbows in by your sides, and the hands are almost pretty much underneath your shoulders, but they're not tucked underneath. Stretching the legs, but without squeezing them. Draw the belly button in and rest the head down. Draw the shoulders back as you inhale. And exhale, coming down slowly. Inhale, so take the shoulders back away from the ears. Exhale, coming down slowly. So you want to make sure on this one that you avoid pushing down into your lower back. Exhale, coming down slowly. You also want to make sure that you're not lifting your head too high, so just pick a spot slightly ahead of you so you're not straining the neck. Inhale. Try not to squeeze the legs. Exhale to lower. And let's do 2 more times. My favorite number. Exhaling to lower. And 1 more time. Inhale. And exhaling to lower. Now from here, we're going to release the hands down to the second position. You want to keep your palms facing inwards, as if you're holding onto the legs, and let your shoulders and your head relax. Roll the shoulders back as you reach, coming up into extension, and exhaling to lower. Inhale, reach, and exhaling to lower. Again, just watching that lower back, and make sure you're not lifting too high. Exhale. Inhale, try not to squeeze the legs. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale, reach, exhale to lower. And 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale to lower. So from here, we're going to come into the harder one, which is a stacked hands position. Now stay away from this one if you really find that you're tensing up on your neck and your shoulders. So go to one of the other 2 movements. It's totally fine to do those ones. So stacked hands position, making sure your head is resting on your hands and your shoulders are completely relaxed. Tiny lift. Inhale to lift. And exhaling to lower. Inhale. So you want to make sure your hands are coming up with your forehead. Exhale. You're not looking in front of you, so keep looking down. Exhale. Shoulders relaxed. Inhale. Just gently drawing the belly button to the spine. Exhale. Coming down slowly. So all of these movements are working all along that spine. We're bringing the shoulders back, so we're helping if you're quite tight across your chest. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhaling to lower. And 1 more time. Inhale. And exhaling to lower. From here, placing the hands down, we're going to press yourself up onto your hands and your knees. And we're sitting into a shelf stretch. So shelf stretch is a really nice stretch for your back. So make sure your knees underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. Curl the spine into a cat stretch, head coming down. And you want to sit your hips back onto your feet, but not your chest onto your legs. And you can also do that one with your hands down to your sides. So breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. 1 more breath. And then you're articulating your spine, which means you want to come up 1 vertebrae at a time. And bringing the shoulders and the head back slowly. If you come up too fast, you're going to get a bit of a woozy moment at the top, so just make sure you come up really slow. So we're going to take it back down onto your mats again slowly. This time, because we're doing a lot of work on your legs, we're going to do a little bit of work on your hips, the inner and the outer thigh, which is a really good one. So we're going to take it down slowly onto your side. So we're lying down onto your mat. You want to stretch your bottom arm down onto the ground and rest your head down onto the arm. Now, as I said, if you have a cushion, which I have here, you can use that underneath the head. Just makes it nice and comfortable on your neck. And we're going to stretch the 2 legs away from you. So you've got shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, knees and ankles, like as if you're lying against a wall. Drawing the belly button gently in, relaxing the hand in front of you. So we're going to start off with a side leg raise or top leg abduction. We're going to inhale, lift the top leg. Excuse me, exhale to lower. Inhale to lift and exhale to lower. So you can bend your bottom leg a little bit on that one if you want to. You don't want to come up too high. You see people that are really flexible and their leg is up over their head. We don't want to go that far. So just slightly up above the hip. Inhale. Exhaling to lower. So this one we want to work into your obliques, which is along the waist area here, and into the hip as well, which is your abductor. But you also want to squeeze the inner thigh as the leg comes down. So you don't want to drop the leg too fast. So the leg's going to start feeling a little bit heavier. If you're feeling that into your lower back, there's something wrong going on there. So you need to make sure that the hips are slightly stacked. They're not falling backwards or forwards. Let's do 1 more. Inhale. And exhaling to lower. Then we're going to hold this one raised, which is another one of the favourites in the class, which is top leg circles. So you're going to circle that leg around, up and over. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. It's like as if you're stirring the leg around. You want to make sure that's not just your ankle moving, that's cheating. Keep drawing the belly button in, so we're supporting, but we're also stabilising the back. Shoulders relaxed. And let's go around in the opposite direction. So circle. The wider you make the circles, the harder it's going to be for you to control. So don't go too wide if you're feeling that you're a bit wobbly. And of course, take a break if you need to. Keeping those shoulders relaxed. We're nearly there on this leg. It's going to really start getting this one now on the hips. And your thighs, as I said, it's the favourite in the class. And holding this one raised. So we're going to do tiny raise, just a little bit of a lift on that top leg. We're going to lift and hold. And lower, not touching the ground. Lift and hold. And lower. Lift and hold, really squeezing through that hip. And lower. Exhale. Inhale, tiny lifts. Exhale. Inhale. Let's do 2 more. Exhale. Really feel it. Inhale to lower. 1 more time. exhale, inhale to lower, and why not then finish off a little bit of a pulse, and pulse, and pulse. Press it through that hip, squeezing, stretching for 10, and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And drop down. Bring those knees in towards your chest. And get that stretch across that hip there. So it's quite a tough one, but it's a really effective one because you're not just getting your hips on that one, you're getting the obliques, as I said, so it's the love handles that are going to get tightened up on that one. But really important to keep focusing on that breath and also the posture, the abdominals engaging. So let's take it up slowly. You always have grey hair after these movements. And we're going to change sides. So we're going to take it down slowly onto the opposite side. And we're going to do it on the opposite side then. So you have your cushion if you want to use it. Okay, top hand in front of you for balance. Shoulders stacked, hips, knees and ankles. Draw the belly button in gently, don't force it in. And we're going to come into that top leg raise or top leg abduction. Inhale to lift and exhaling to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhaling to lower. So just imagining like you're lying against a wall and you're keeping all of your joints stacked. Exhaling to lower. And as I said earlier on, if you start to feel that into your hip, or no, you feel it in your hip and your lower back, sorry, you're going to feel that there's something going wrong there. So make sure you stop and readjust your posture. You can bend the bottom leg a little bit as well, remember for balance. Inhale. Exhaling to lower. Inhale. Exhale. Going to hold the next one raised. And let's take it into those top leg circles. Exhale. Inhale. Stirring the leg around. Feel that already. What you might find as well is one side is a little bit hard to do than the other side. If you have any imbalances, that you're going to feel a little bit more unstable maybe on one side, or it's just generally harder on one side than the other side. So that's why it's really great for balancing out the muscle groups. Focusing on that posture. And let's change direction the opposite way. You want to go in front and behind that bottom leg. So it's not just going up and down. So make that full circle. Shoulders relaxed. Good. Try not to overuse that hand. As you can see, sometimes it's a little bit normal to press into it, but we want to try and avoid that if you can. 2 more times. Really feeling that. Last one. And then holding this one without touching the ground. Tiny lift and lower. So it's like as if you're lifting and stop and lower. So really press into that oblique and into the waist area. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So really controlled. What a lot of people do ask when I'm doing these classes, can we do some ab work, some core work? All of these movements are core work, but you have to make sure that you're using the core properly. So keep very gently drawing the belly button in towards the back, and that's going to tone up your abdominals even though you're feeling it on the leg. So we're going to hold this one. Tiny upward pulses. Press but not bounce. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring those knees into your chest. And just hold it there. Just loosening out that hip. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. And focusing on the breath. Breathing in through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. So from here, we're going to take it around onto your back again. We'll leave the cushion to the side, but we're actually going to use that for the next movement if you need it. So we're going to bring yourselves around. And as I said to you earlier on, you want to make sure that when you change your lying down position from this position to another position, you always need to come back to neutral again. So feet and knees in line with the hips, shoulders relaxed, tiny space underneath the spine. Draw the belly button gently in as you focus on that breath, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. So another favourite in the class is the 100, and we're going to try that one today. Now remember, you don't have to add on, which I can do, lifting the head and the shoulders and so on, so you can stay down if you want to. If you feel any pain on your back, use your cushion, lift the hips up and pop it right underneath the lower part of your back, underneath your hips, so it's giving you a little bit of lumbar support there. But if it's still pain in your back, or you're just feeling it into the legs, not the abdominals, stay away from this movement until you get a little bit stronger. Okay, so we're going to take it into your imprint, so tilting the spine gently down, so you'll see that pubic bone going upwards. One leg to tabletop, second leg to tabletop, and you can stay here for the full 100 with the head down, or we're going to try the ab prep, so fingertips touching, center of the head, resting the head in the hands, bring the elbows slightly forward so you can see them. Same as the ab prep technique, and lifting the head, lifting the shoulders. If you're not using your cushion underneath your back, you can use it in between your knees, gives you something to squeeze. Inner thighs working there. So we're going to hold it, focus on the breath. We're breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 is 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 5 is 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 is 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 is 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 is 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 is 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 is 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 is 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 is 10, 100. And take your cushion away if you're using it. One leg down, second leg down, releasing the neck and shoulders. And turning the head side to side to loosen out that neck, and maybe give the shoulders a few rolls. But if you're really feeling that in your neck or into that lower back, as I said, we need to change something or work on your technique a little bit more, so make sure you don't do that one if it's straining. Just a few more rolls. It's nice to go full body stretch as well to open out the rib cage and the hip flexors. Good. And one more breath in this position. And taking it back in slowly. So we're going to finish off with a shoulder bridge prep. We're combining the quads and the hip flexors with the hamstrings and glutes, because we're going to do one leg tabletop and one leg down. So this is going to challenge the pelvic stability. So if you find that's too hard to balance or too much pressure on one side, leave your feet down in contact with the mat. So top leg in tabletop, bottom leg in line with the hip on the ground, and your hands down by your sides. Now you want to really clench both legs, not just the one that you're balancing on. Exhale to lift, and inhaling to lower. Exhaling to lift, and inhaling to lower. So you might find that you get cramps on this, on the back of the legs and the bum. Exhale. Inhale. As I said, if you find that's too hard, drop the 2 feet down. Exhale. Inhale. So it's entirely up to you. We want to make sure that both hips are moving at the same time. And when you have that leg off the ground in tabletop, it's very easy to drop to the side. So really focus on that technique. And one more time. Exhale. And inhale. And then we'll take those 2 knees in towards your chest. If you want to stretch the legs upwards, it gives a nice stretch on the back of the legs there if you're getting a bit of a cramp on the hamstrings. You can point and flex the toes. And then we're going to try that then on the opposite side. So 1 foot down, 1 leg in tabletop, or 2 feet down on the ground, so 2. And exhale to lift. Inhaling to lower. Exhaling to lift. Inhaling to lower. If you have to, use your hands underneath to support the back. That's a telltale sign that there's something wrong there. So you need to use your 2 feet down if that's happening. Exhaling to lift. Inhaling to lower. Let's do 2 more times. We're nearly there. Exhale. Inhaling to lower. And 1 more time. Exhale. And inhale. And then we're going to take that into a little bit of a stretch to finish off for today. So well done. That was really good. It's a lot of work on the legs, but as I said, all of these exercises are core exercises as well. So even though it might have felt mostly on your legs, you are working the abdominals and back strength as well. So we're just going to finish off now with a few stretches, and we're going to take the right leg up towards the ceiling and keeping the left leg down. Holding behind the back of your leg, just very gently guiding the leg back towards you. You can point and flex the toes if you want to, add in a bit of rotation in the ankle as well. And again, just constantly focusing on that breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then slowly releasing that leg down, changing sides. So you only want to go to the point where you feel the stretch, but you don't feel any strain on the leg or on the lower back. And make sure that you don't lift your hips off the ground, like your shoulder bridge. So again, a few points, flexing the toes or adding in a few circles. Keeping the shoulders and the neck relaxed. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Gonna hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds. And then releasing it down slowly. So from here, we're going to drop your 2 knees to your right hand side and your hands and your head across to your left hand side. So this is a very similar stretch to what we've done in the warm up. This is your spinal rotation. So it's getting a lovely stretch then across the chest into those oblique muscles and around the hip area that we did with the side leg work. And again, just focusing on the breath, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And then very slowly coming back around to the opposite side, dropping the legs to one side, reaching the hands and the head, focusing on the breath, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And last breath, and then slowly coming into the center to starting position. So we're just going to roll out the pelvis a little bit like what we've done in the warm-up. So it's different from your shoulder bridge. It's 1 vertebrae at a time, rolling the hips up and rolling the hips down slowly, just to loosen out that lower back a little bit more. Coming down slowly. So just doing a couple of these, exhaling to lift. You're not trying to squeeze and contract as much as you were doing the exercises, just this as a little mobility stretch. 1 more time. And then coming down slowly. And then from here, we're going to roll around onto your belly. Or you can stretch this onto your side. So I'll show you the side stretch first. So that's your quad stretch. You can rest your head down on the arm and just taking a hold of your foot, gently guiding your foot in towards the back of the leg. And you want to keep that knee pushing back behind you. So that's if you find difficulty reaching your foot. It's a nice one to do on your side. Or we'll do it lying face down, using the same arm, same leg, other hand underneath the head, just taking a break on the neck. So focusing on the breath, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And then slowly releasing the leg and changing sides. This is a really good stretch for the front of those legs. Just try and relax the neck, relax the shoulders. Keep drawing the belly button in to support the back. 1 more breath. And releasing down. And then to finish off, into that cat stretch, shell stretch. So we're up onto all fours as we done earlier on. Curling into the cat stretch to begin with. And then sitting back onto the heels. You can drop the head down. You can use your hands down to your sides if you prefer. keeping the space between your belly and your chest and the legs. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And finally rolling up one vertebrae at a time to finish. So I hope you enjoyed that complete core class. I'm going to be doing many more videos to come with different exercises in the complete core class as we do in the studio, and they're going to be of different levels as well. So if you want to purchase a particular level, you can go onto the website, which is www.resolute.ie. I'll have all the videos up there for you to do a quick view of which one that you might prefer best, and as I said, you can purchase it directly from the website.